My name is Brandon Locklin. I'm the research manager at Citizens United for Research in Epilepsy, also known as CURE. Is everybody familiar with CURE? Show of hands. Okay, some, not all. All right. CURE was founded in 1998, so we are just about to celebrate year 20, our 20th year anniversary. Hopefully that comes back. All right. So CURE was founded by a group of mothers. Some of you may know the name. It actually was the Axelrod family, Susan and David Axelrod, who felt that there was a need for funding in the research space. And so CURE was founded 20 years ago based on that. We've now become the largest private funder of epilepsy research in the world, funding anywhere between $5 and $6 million in epilepsy research every year. Now, where do our funds go? Well, they go in a variety of different areas, which I'll get to here in just a minute. But first off, I'm just going to tell you a little bit about our mission, which I've pretty much already told you. We work to cure epilepsy, transforming and saving millions of lives, identify and fund cutting-edge research, challenging scientists worldwide to collaborate and innovate in pursuit of our goal. That's a big push of CURE's is really challenging scientists and really promoting collaboration. Evidently, I have to keep my hands on here. All right, our impact. CURE, like I said, has funded more than 200 grants. In fact, now we are up to 217 grants in 15 countries around the world. We have different grant categories so that we focus primarily in main areas where we actually have investigators studying everything from SUDEP to infantile spasms to epilepsy genetics. I'll actually pull them up here, to pediatrics, to acquired epilepsies. But we also focus on the young investigators as well. So we have awards that are meant to actually get neurologists into the space of epilepsy, because a lot of times we find that it's very hard to keep people in the space if they don't have money. So we focus a lot of priority around young investigators. But CURE is more than just funding grants. We also do a number of research initiatives. Many of you may have seen as well. We have programs in post-traumatic epilepsy, which we formed a $10 million partnership with the Department of Defense that I'll talk about here in just a minute. Infantile spasms, which was a first of its kind multidisciplinary team science approach to research. I don't know why it keeps doing this. And then probably our most famous program is the Epilepsy Genetics Initiative, which is our signature program, which I'll get to in just a little bit more. So that's kind of a breakdown of our research, our programs, and then our research priorities. The signature programs, which I just talked about. Epilepsy Genetics Initiative, sudden unexpected death in epilepsy, infantile spasms, and post-traumatic epilepsy. So I'll break down some of these for you. EGI is basically a centralized database. And what this database does is we're in partnership with Columbia University in New York City. And what we do is we look at genetic sequences, specifically your exome, which is the protein encoding portion of your genome. And we are looking at genetic causes or genetic mutations that may actually cause or contribute to a person's epilepsy. Right now we have over 700 total enrollments. This is patients plus any family members that have had sequencing as well to determine the biological component. In that, we have had, the last analysis that we had 174 patients. So that's just the people that had epilepsy analyzed. And these were patients that actually already had genetic testing done. So their genome was actually looked at already. And we actually identified a cause to 10 additional patients that actually did not previously have a diagnosis. So this is very exciting new research that's being done. To kind of tell you a little bit more, and some of this may be a little above your head, but I'll be happy to give you more information later on about it. But one example is an SCN8A gene, which is a gene, sodium channel gene that is known to cause epilepsy. And many of the diagnostic labs actually have been looking at one exon, which is a portion of that gene. What they weren't doing was looking at an alternative portion of that gene. And 3 of those 10 patients actually had a mutation on the alternative portion of that gene, and they were not receiving a SCN8A diagnosis, but through EGI was able to get that diagnosis and then obviously potentially actually change their treatment options available. Also within EGI, we've been able to identify a new gene that was not previously identified with epilepsy. The paper will be coming out very shortly, and then I'll be able to name what the gene is. But we have publications coming out in Genetics and Medicine, the American Journal of Human Genetics. We have 7 cases in which a diagnosis was already found, and EGI confirmed that diagnosis, but actually may have some new information that may alter those patients' treatments. And the beautiful thing about EGI, it's a research study. Everybody knows what research studies are. Most research studies, though, you find you never actually hear your results back. EGI reports all these results back to your doctor, who then reports them back to you, the patient. So that is the beautiful thing about EGI. Also, all of the information within EGI is meant to be a community database. So we do open this data up to researchers. Everything is de-identified and opened up to research. So people from around the world can access this data as well. So if you want any more information, you can contact the email address egi@cureepilepsy.org or the 844 number that you'll see there, and it will come directly to me. SUDEP, sudden unexpected death in epilepsy. Cure was really the pioneer with SUDEP research. We've invested more than $4.3 million in grant funding to SUDEP. This includes 33 grants to 41 researchers in 8 different countries. We first brought the issue of SUDEP to the forefront in research efforts in 2002, and actually funded our first grant to Dr. Carl Feingold back in 2004. Since then, we've funded 4 SUDEP registries and 6 different animal models of SUDEP. Some of our research, some of the main points of our research, we revealed the connection between SUDEP and genes in both the brain and the heart. So it's really been a passion of many of the mothers that originally founded Cure. SUDEP is very near and dear to their heart. Infantile spasms. Infantile spasms obviously is a very severe form of pediatric epilepsy. We've actually formed a multi-center, multi-investigator research team in which we forced 6 investigators from leading neurological institutions. I'm going to try this one more time. From leading neurological institutions from around the world, we forced these researchers to collaborate, share data, and actually basically conduct their research together in a multi-investigator research team format. And this was meant to really understand the underlying mechanisms of infantile spasms and to explore potential new treatments. This was an initiative that started 4 years ago, and recently actually just came to a conclusion. All 6 investigators were required to meet certain milestones along the way to actually continue to get their funding. All 6 researchers did meet their milestones. They all collaborated, and now they are working together to form a white paper that will be hopefully published within the next year. And one of our investigators by the name of John Swan out of the University of Baylor is actually pursuing different pharmaceutical companies to actually potentially move a drug for infantile spasms. So this is some exciting new research as well done in that space. Another space, post-traumatic epilepsy, became big on the forefront of epilepsy recently because of the move with concussions and specifically in the NFL. Well, post-traumatic epilepsy is an acquired epilepsy that's usually the result of a traumatic brain injury. And what we're doing is we're taking that same infantile spasms team science approach and we're putting it in the post-traumatic epilepsy space. And we are forming a multidisciplinary team of individuals to really take a look at traumatic brain injury and the resulting post-traumatic epilepsy. This is a huge, huge program. We were given $10 million from the Department of Defense to explore this. So We've recently just announced our team, so if you'd like some more information on that, that will be announced actually on our website and through different email communications in the very near future. And they're going to explore new animal models with the goal of rapidly translating patient-relevant findings at the molecular, cellular, and systems level into novel therapies to halt the development of epilepsy following a traumatic brain injury. So this is our newest initiative, and this is just actually getting off the ground. And then our new research partners, if anybody has visited the Cure booth, which I recognize pretty much every face here, and you have, you'll know that we are now partnering with Johns Hopkins in the development of an actual app that will be used in conjunction with the Apple Watch and the Apple iPhone to help manage, actually this study is helping manage epilepsy by tracking seizures, medication, and possible triggers and side effects. And what they're doing with all this data, so Cure actually, we have 250 watches that we are handing out to people who own an iPhone. They are 16 and older, have epilepsy, and have had at least one tonic-clonic seizure in the past year. They've got to actually be able to use the app with no major physical or learning disabilities that would impair their ability to interact with it, and be a resident of the US. So what we're doing is distributing these and working with Johns Hopkins. And actually, I am happy to announce that within the next couple months, I don't have an exact time frame on this, but Apple will be releasing the first, Johns Hopkins will be releasing the first version of this app that will actually be used to track tonic-clonic seizures and actually be able to, in theory, detect them before they occur. So this is the first. They're actually moving this along, and they're hoping to create a pediatric version of the same app, and then actually create versions of the app for other seizure types, including like non-convulsive seizure types as well. So basically, to sum up, Cure, everybody knows we were founded around research. We believe that research will lead us to the ultimate cure of no seizures, no side effects. If you do have any questions, due to the time, I'll probably go ahead and let Kathleen start her presentation. If we have any time at the end, I'll happily answer any questions that you may have. Right outside the door, though, is the Cure booth as well, if you have any questions that you'd like to come up and ask me personally. Here is my information as well, if this thing wants to work. Brandon.Locklin@cureepilepsy.org. Feel free to email me. Also, since I'm going to now introduce a member of the Epilepsy Foundation, I do want to announce that it is Epilepsy Awareness Month, and we do believe awareness and research go hand in hand. So we are doing a couple promotional activities. We're partnering with the Epilepsy Foundation to do the My Shot Challenge, which is the version of the Ice Bucket Challenge for epilepsy, only much drier, much warmer. So you'll basically do your My Shot pose and actually tag people on Facebook as an awareness campaign. And then we're also forming a series of webinars that some of you I know have talked to me about and love already. And they're every Wednesday during the month of November, and 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 p.m. Central, or 11 p.m. Pacific time. And these webinars feature some of the leading experts, kind of bringing it to the community and bringing it down to everybody's level to talk about epilepsy research in the spaces that I actually were just talking about there. So we're very excited, and those will all be made available on our website as well. All right, thank you all very much.